The film unfurls against the backdrop of a post-apocalyptic Europe, devastated by a cataclysmic event that has obliterated most of its population. A sinister force manipulates survivors, coercing them into taking their own lives, threatening the very essence of humanity. In an abandoned warehouse, Sebastian and his daughter find refuge, momentarily escaping the harsh reality as they roller skate through empty halls. However, their joy is abruptly shattered by an ominous sound nearby. Fear grips them as they realize the need to flee. Swiftly packing their skates, along with some essential supplies, they make a run for the exit. Their escape takes a brutal turn when Sebastian is ambushed by a group of blind assailants wielding sticks. Beaten mercilessly, Sebastian is left bleeding and bruised, his supplies seized by the ruthless attackers. In a desperate moment, Anna spots a broken bottle, tempting Sebastian to fight back. Sensing the danger, Anna intervenes, urging him not to provoke further violence. Afterward, Sebastian and Anna emerge from the building, their eyes shielded by black goggles, only to find desolation in the empty streets and crumbling buildings. The father and daughter traverse the desolate landscape, encountering other survivors. Sebastian, cautious yet hopeful, instructs Anna to stay hidden as he approaches the group, seeking to join their ranks in the harsh, unforgiving world that now defines their reality. In the uncertain world of survivors, skepticism looms as Sebastian seeks refuge with a group wary of his potential threat. The survivors, grappling with their fears, question Sebastian's intentions and safety. To gain their trust, Sebastian, a construction engineer by profession, emphasizes his skills in acquiring generators for light and heat. Assured by his promises, the survivors reluctantly allow him to join their group, leading him to a bus station where safety lies with more fellow survivors. There, Sebastian encounters Liliana, a caring doctor who tends to his injuries during a communal dinner. Amidst the shared meal, Sebastian learns of a peculiar survivor, a man who has resorted to stitching his own eyes to shield his mind from the entity's influence. The man shares chilling tales of the atrocities committed under the entity's sway. More surprisingly, he reveals a secret about a faction called Seers, who defy the entity's power, but their lack of kindness makes them a perilous threat. Driven by a clandestine mission, Sebastian seizes the opportunity to gather keys from the office while the others sleep. Intent on freeing them from the entity's grasp, his actions inadvertently disturb Liliana, who attempts to intervene. Locking the door behind him, Sebastian insists that he wants to liberate everyone. As he starts the bus, chaos ensues, leading to a frenzied attempt by others to halt him. In the tumultuous escape, Sebastian loses control, crashing the bus and overturning it. Injured and bleeding, he staggers out, only to be followed by another man. Pointing to the distant entity, Sebastian marvels at its beauty, leaving the survivors in the aftermath of a chaotic and desperate alliance in their quest for survival in a broken world. In a chilling turn of events, the man, revealing himself as a Seers, gazes at the entity and swiftly takes his own life with a piece of glass. The shocking revelation unfolds that Sebastian, too, is a Seers, impervious to the entity's influence. As the survivors, including Liliana, emerge from the bus with closed eyes and bowed heads, Sebastian forcibly opens their eyes to confront the entity. Witnessing the horrifying entity, Liliana and the others succumb to the despair, taking their own lives in various ways. One by one, Sebastian watches as the light fades from their bodies, ascending into the sky. Suddenly, he finds himself in an ethereal realm, hand in hand with his father, reassured that he has saved them. A sudden flashback transports Sebastian to the earlier days when Europe fell prey to the unknown entity. 9 months prior, chaos ensued as Sebastian, at work, learned about the entity's devastating attack through a news alert. Panic spread, with people in the office succumbing to the entity's influence. Urgently called by his wife Laura, Sebastian raced through the chaotic streets to retrieve their daughter Anna from school. On the way to the subway, he witnessed the entity's power causing havoc, prompting him to flee. Returning to the streets, Sebastian encountered further devastation, with buildings exploding. Upon reaching the school, he was greeted by a distressing sight, a frightened Anna surrounded by terrified classmates. In a desperate attempt to flee, they encountered Esteban, the school's pastor, who propagated a disturbing belief that the entity was an angel whose holy radiance blinded those who gazed upon it. Esteban, the school's pastor, introduces a radical idea to end humanity's suffering by liberating them from the shackles of existence. Sebastian, profoundly affected by this extreme proposition, covers his daughter Anna in his jacket and rushes to their apartment building. Tragically, he arrives too late to save Laura, who is struck by a car while crossing the street. In the present, Sebastian and Anna pause at the church for a brief prayer. Sebastian, however, notices a painting shift, revealing his true identity as a seers, deluded into believing he is saving souls by orchestrating deaths through the entity. As they return to the streets, witnessing more people succumbing to the entity's influence, Sebastian declares the entity to be a glorious angel, marveling at the radiant lights ascending to the sky. Their journey leads them to encounter a woman named Claire, prompting Sebastian to attempt a stealthy approach. However, a sudden attack by dogs, owned by Rafa and Octavio, disrupts his plan. Sebastian pleads to be welcomed into their group, and Rafa, initially reluctant, succumbs to Sebastian's story of generators. As objects levitate around them, signaling the entity's arrival, the group hastily departs. After a perilous journey, they reach an old abandoned shelter, their haven. Here, Sebastian is introduced to Isabel and Roberto, a married couple, and Sophia, a young German girl who strikingly resembles Anna. After the introductions, Rafa corners Sebastian, inquiring about the generators. Caught in a web of deception, Sebastian pretends to be alone, but Anna's spectral presence behind him urges him to use Sophia to lure others out. In a sudden confession, he admits to lying about the generators, triggering Rafa's anger, and leading to a physical altercation. Sophia intervenes, revealing her aversion to violence and bloodshed, and sharing her own painful experiences from the onset of the entity's influence. Sophia discloses losing her mother during a European vacation and hearing a broadcast mentioning a mountain castle as a safe refuge from the entity. She sketches the castle and a cable car leading to it. Isabel identifies the castle as Machuuk. Despite conflicting opinions within the group, they decide to take a chance and head for Machuuk, hoping for food and shelter within its ancient walls. Before departing, Bastian is haunted by a recurring nightmare, replaying the harrowing experiences he has endured. The group sets off for Machuuk, only stopping briefly to check their location on the map. As they venture outdoors, Sebastian is struck by another flash of memory, recalling a frantic journey 8 months earlier. Desperately seeking a doctor for Anna's fever, Sebastian's attempts are thwarted by levitating objects, forcing him to return home empty-handed. As the group finds a place to camp for the night in the present, Sebastian grapples with an unsettling feeling that Anna is still watching them from a distance. In the cloak of night, while the others sleep, Sebastian seizes an opportunity to damage the dog's leash. The next morning, as the group walks through the streets, they are suddenly ambushed by the entity, mimicking the voices of their lost loved ones. Confusion ensues, and the group loses focus. The dog's leash snaps, setting the dog free. Sophia hears her mother's voice, urging her to remove her blindfold. Octavio intervenes in time to prevent a potential tragedy. On the other side, Rafa is frantic about his dogs. When he hears their agonized whimpers, he rips off his blindfold, facing the entity and succumbing instantly. The dogs check on Rafa, and Roberto, attempting the same, ends up getting bitten. Spotting a nearby house, Octavio sounds his whistle, signaling the others to follow him inside. While Isabel tends to Roberto's hand injury, Octavio reveals his hypothesis. The entity is a quantum creature existing within a shifting substance, capable of sensing human emotions, especially fear and sorrow. Sebastian questions his beliefs, but upon seeing Sophia in tears, he gives her his necklace as a source of comfort. This act triggers another memory of Esteban and his gang, forcing people to open their eyes for liberation. In an attempt to shield Anna from the chaos, Sebastian kept her in their apartment. In the present, Sebastian continues to spot Anna, leading him to question her existence. Is she a ghost or a figment of his imagination? Claire attempts to reason with him, suggesting that the entity uses their loved ones to deceive and confuse. Lana's ghostly whispers further fuel Sebastian's uncertainty, making him question the reality of Anna's presence in his life. Amidst the group's struggles, Roberto collapses due to an infected wound. Octavio, Claire, and Sebastian embark on a search for medicine. In a room with an open window, Sebastian spots Anna once again and beckons Octavio over, deceitfully claiming the window is closed. Octavio, removing his blindfold, encounters the entity and tragically ends his life on the spot. Sebastian, grappling with doubts, can't see the radiant light from Octavio's body. As Anna persistently urges him to remove Claire's blindfold, Sebastian finds himself in a shaky mental state. Thankfully, Claire intervenes, pulling him away before matters worsen. Returning to the couple, Claire shares the medicine she found for Roberto. Sebastian, torn between the whispers of Anna and Sophia, faces an internal struggle. The survivors continue their journey through the city towards Machuuk. Sebastian notices corpses marked with Esteban's insignia scattered everywhere. Suddenly, they encounter a Sears on a bike blocking their path. Attempting to escape, the group faces tragedy as Isabel and Roberto are struck, falling to the ground. Feeling trapped and hopeless, the couple decides to remove their blindfolds, embracing their fate together. However, before Sears can capture them, Sebastian takes swift action, pulling Claire and Sophia into a secure building. In this tense moment, Claire makes a startling discovery. Sebastian's goggles aren't dark, revealing his identity as a Sears. In a frantic escape, Claire seizes Sophia's hand, and they dash away with Sebastian in pursuit. Driven by Anna's relentless urging to harm them, Sebastian closes in on the duo. Despite Claire and Sophia managing to ascend to the roof, Sebastian catches up, blocking their path. Intent on causing harm, he targets Sophia, attempting to remove her blindfold. In a surprising turn of events, Sebastian sees Anna bleeding, causing a sudden change of heart. He decides to spare Sophia, realizing the unexpected connection he shares with Anna. A haunting flashback then grips Sebastian's mind, recalling a moment months ago when he and Anna celebrated her birthday. Intruders broke in, forcing Anna to confront the entity on the rooftop, resulting in her tragic demise. In the present, Sebastian manages to rescue Claire, deciding to reveal the truth about Anna and his newfound clarity. He pledges to protect them at all costs. Just as a semblance of calm seems within reach, the Sears appears, causing chaos in the building. Faced with no alternative, the trio is compelled to escape through the roof. In a desperate escape bid, a woman confronts Sebastian, attempting to damage his eyes. With resilience, Sebastian pushes her away, leading to a tragic fall and her demise. The trio reaches the streets and utilizes a car for a hasty getaway just in time to elude the pursuing Sears. However, Esteban and his gang give chase in vehicles. Racing towards the cable car tower, Sebastian detonates the car to eliminate some of the Sears. Sebastian instructs Claire to take Sophia and proceed, while he engages in a philosophical debate with a mysterious man. Guiding Sophia up the old stairs, Claire narrowly prevents a fall through a broken step. With no option for a blindfolded ascent, Claire removes it, reaching the top only to discover the cable cars aren't operational. Thinking on her feet, she rings a bell to attract the entity, covering her eyes as it mimics the voices of their loved ones. On the ground, Sebastian, believing Claire to be the entity, attacks her, only to realize it's Esteban. Their intense struggle culminates in a fatal exchange of stabs. As Sebastian succumbs, he finds solace in knowing Claire and Sophia are safe. Meanwhile, Claire and Sophia escape in a cable car, leaving behind the tragic demise of Esteban and Sebastian. Claire and Sophia find refuge in a castle, welcomed by the military. Sophia reunites with her mother, while Claire undergoes blood tests in a lab. The researchers disclose their quest to identify a chemical marker of trauma and develop an antibody for immunity against the entity. Later, as the antibody is injected into rats, a Sears, seemingly an experimental subject, reacts to sinister growls emanating from the containment room, prompting a chilling inquiry. The echoes of destiny continue to weave their intricate dance, leaving the survivors entangled in a web of uncertainty and revelation.